lived a very sheltered life.
Hispanic?
Yeah, I lived a very sheltered life. My parents were not dancers, they were not drinkers, they were very atypical, because we're Jewish,
No
so
wine
they
for the heart?
weren't,
Really?
none of that. Are you
So,
kidding?
My
we have
parents
the blood of
either.
Jesus.
My parents started.
Yeah,
Oh,
drink
I
wine a
definitely do.
Every time
that's-
I'm looking at it.
Yes.
Why the church?
No, my parents,
No,
my
I'm
parents
looking
had
at
their
it.
little,
What is it?
get-togethers and stuff, and that's why now my mom evolving into this sainthood. It shocks me.
Remember the part in
Just
in Lucifer when Father Kinley dies?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Why do you think I'm going to hell?" And she said something like, "Just a hunch." It's kind of like your mom. I don't believe in heaven and hell.
No, yeah.
But it's like there are a lot of people that think they're saints that are
Oh,
the
no,
farthest
yeah.
thing from it.
Yeah,
So that's a very distorted, delusional person, and we know that about your mom.
yeah.
But the fear is repeating something again versus anxiety doing something new. So wait, what does it say about you if your house is dirty?
I'm not doing my job.
And what's your job?
Cook, clean and wash everything.
And I need to hear from her. What's your job? I'm not doing my job. What is your
Living
job?
up to the standards. I feel like there's these high standards that
What standards?
But what's the job?
What's the
That's a
job?
very important word.
I'm supposed to cook, I'm supposed to clean, I'm supposed to do.
But what's the job? Name the job for me.
I don't know, I just felt that's what it was. I'm not sure what the job, to
Is
be
the
honest.
job motherhood? Is the job womanhood? What's the job?
It's a job of.
You don't know if you're not doing the
See, the
job.
wife part, I can't even relate with anymore. I cannot relate with how I'm supposed to be. a
Okay,
wife.
so then that's not about being a
So
wife.
it's not.
So what is the job?
The job.
I guess it's being a good mom because I grew up in a dirty ass household, always sick with allergy
Okay.
problems.
Now, it's not, I'm not telling you to live like a pig. Pseudo cleaning is a good idea. I'm not telling you to live like a pig and have your kids be sick and live in filth. We're not going 0 to 100. We're going 100 to 75 so that you can breathe.
Yeah,
What do your kids care more about?
time with me.
Time with you more than cleaning.
They
So when
need
she's talking about prioritizing, your kids are the job. It is you and what you think they care about. Kids can care less about a clean kitchen. Now you had another extreme. You were in filth. That's a whole, remember, we're talking extremes.
Yeah, it was always 0 to 100 and growing up.
And that's what most people have had. That's why pain and pleasure is 0 to 100. My client, could have taken Advil on her trip. She could have left her walking stick, but she could have taken the Advil for the pain. But instead she chose to stuff her and brought nothing. 0, 100.
I've been doing that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I
Sally.
don't believe in suffering. Take the stupid Advil.
I stopped the pain meds and now that
Take the
I'm working,
Advil.
I'm feeling the pain again and I'm not taking the pain meds.
So the pain is a psychological orgasm, just like the pleasure. Pleasure in our society, very hedonistic, Instagram, Facebook, social media ridden society, is viewed more elevated than pain.
I
It
have,
is more admirable.
I have another suggestion about the cleaning. Cause I've done it too. And so you could say to the kids, cause they're old enough where they could do a little something and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You're all gonna be my helpers and give them tasks to do. Whether it's you, Dustin, and we're gonna do this for.
But what's the 0 to 100 in Nicole's story of that? There's a reason she doesn't do that, because there's a 0
Oh,
to
they have
100.
jobs now. I just started jobs now
You
because
just started, because you've been sitting in this class long enough.
Right.
I explained to
Prior
them.
to that,
Yeah, I let my son
why,
know.
I did
0
it
to
all.
100, why? Because she did everything.
Right.
Yeah.
A client is gonna do something or not do something, 0 to 100, because there's a story. That's why I say, ask about the story, ask about the childhood. Who made you do that? When did you feel that way? Why are you like that? When did you have that experience? Those questions are your best friends.
And I think that's why it took so long to see the flaws in my marriage, because I was used to that treatment. I was used to the nice one day, I'm gonna go take you to buy Barbie dolls, to the next day, you're a piece of shit, why didn't you do this? And then back and forth, so I kind of saw it as normal.
Okay, but now you're going 0 to 100, too. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm supporting you in whatever you decide, and you know you have my full support. But my responsibility to you, as your friend, as your teacher, as a therapist, is to let you know that you've taken that, and now you've made it 0 to 100 in the other direction. Well, I don't want any of that, so I'm gonna have none of it. And that's not necessarily necessary. Whether or not there's a fix, whether there's a 48 to 52, I don't know. But you have to pay attention to your behavior that you've now taken into the other extreme. That's how you're gonna know what your client's issue is. What are they doing all of the time or none of the time? That's gonna be your key, because there's a story there behind the 0 to 100.
I used to be like Nicole, where I would clean, and moving back in with my mom, she's like super anal, like she's like Nicole anal, but worse. And so I now,
That's a
I
compliment.
now,
I know.
no, it's
I'm leaving
just-
here with a compliment today, okay.
So what I sat her down and I told her was, look, Mom, you're Martha and I'm Paola. And Paola believes in cleaning once a week. And she does everything other than mop. That I will not do. No. But I do
There's a
pass the
story.
vacuum.
She
Hell
makes
yeah.
mops.
I just, yeah. I vacuum, I do everything. So you don't have to worry about that. But I will not be cleaning every day. I will pseudo clean if I find something that needs to be, pass the broom a little bit or something like that. But you are not gonna find me with the damn escoba in my hand every day, all day. And that kills her. And I was like, I know it's killing you right now to hear me say this, but I'm not you. If you wanna clean and you wanna do it, go right ahead. That's on you.
That is
But
very mature of
I'm
you
not going
to assume your responsibility,
Yeah.
meet your own needs by saying what you will and will not do.
Yeah.
And so you
I
weren't
had
afraid.
To, I had to do it because
You weren't afraid
she
to do it
just-
because has she ever kicked you out for not cleaning before?
No, she would beat my ass.
Okay.
But as a little girl, you have to clean, and that's what I see a lot of me with Jay, telling him to clean up, or else I'm gonna whoop your ass. Like I tell him like that. But so Jay, if I send him to do it, he'll do it. It may take him 3 minutes, it may take him the entire day, but we'll get it done.
Okay, so have you considered or reconsidered not telling him I'll whoop your ass?
Right, exactly. Now I don't tell him. Now I'm like,
So it's
you'll get
because you
smacked in
changed
case you don't.
that behavior with your son,
Yeah.
that you were able to
Yeah.
go and talk to your mom and say, this is my new behavior.
Exactly. So
If you wouldn't have changed that behavior with him, you would not have been able to have that mature conversation with her.
yeah,
And you're absolutely right. She can clean every single day if she feels like it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to give a shit or feel guilty or have anything to do with it. Because you as an adult had a conversation and said, this is what I will do.
But-
now if she's cleaning, let me just finish. If she's cleaning and you're sitting in the corner saying, man, I feel so guilty, let me help her, and you jump in and you help her, then you've self-betrayed.
and that's why now, right, Nicole? I called you and I told you this bitch wants me out because she's
She wants
gonna
to clean.
She wants to clean. She told me, oh, I'm gonna clean tomorrow. Da 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 da. So I called up Nicole and I'm like, now this bitch wants to clean tomorrow. Now I gotta find a place to go stay while she cleans, because every time I stay and I'm laying in my bed relaxing and I see poor Martha cleaning all by herself, I'm like, shit, let me get up off my ass since I'm not doing something, and I feel guilty. So no, now I told my boy, I was like, I'm going to your house, or I'll go to Nicole's house.
Growth, my
We're
friend.
going to
Growth.
do something else.
That's the
Have
worst
a
thing she
great-
said.
And so,
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stay here to
I'm
hear
not-
horror.
so you've just become a better mother in the fact that you're not gonna repeat your mother's whoop ass because Jay doesn't pick up.
Right.
And you've become a better human being for yourself. You've loved yourself more because you're not succumbing to her manipulation.
Exactly.
You can also use the
Growth.
public library, they have
Yeah.
story times, or you can sit and let them look.
Well,
through
she
the-
does it on Saturdays. That's her cleaning day. So usually it's Saturdays. So what I'll do is now I'm single. Now I went back to Nick. So I'll call up Nick and be like, yo, let's go to the beach. Or I'll call Nicole, be like, what are you doing? Like, I'll go to her place or go to my boy's place. I'll find something to do. Or I'll even go outside.
And what's your cleaning day?
My cleaning days, it depends. It could vary. Either Monday, like if I'm not in school, usually I like to do it at the beginning of the week, Monday, because since she cleans on Saturdays, then it gives me that Monday, everything's already clean pretty much. But what I'll do is just clean my bathroom, clean the room, and then pass the vacuum once again. That way, everything. But then now I changed it to Fridays because the thing is that Fridays she goes and feeds the homeless. So she makes a big ass mess of food and she leaves it there while she goes and does her shit, and that's why she cleans Saturday. So what I'll do is I'll do the morning, during the morning I'll clean my room and my bathroom, and then in the afternoon once she's left, I usually pass the vacuum. That way
So
the
I have
next
two
day she
questions.
has- Yeah.
First of all, how often are you gonna clean when you live on your own?
Oh no, when I was living by myself,
No, when you now that
no,
you've changed.
oh now that I changed,
How
I'm gonna do it
often?
the same way. Once a week.
Okay.
Once a week.
So now scenario, the two of you move in together.
Yeah.
She's your mom because everybody's mother or
Yeah.
father and she's your mom.
Right.
Are you gonna be able to say, Nicole, I only clean once a week.
What-
I'm going with Nick to the beach while you clean
Well, Nicole
because you
here
don't want
already
me at the
knows.
house.
Already knows.
The way I
that
look at it is I have 3 kids, and it's like when I had a roommate before and I only had 2, and Eli was real little and he just liked to grab everything and fucking throw it. I swear, he is my child. He's just like me. But he, I would clean. Yeah, I saw
I
that.
figure.
So Eli is just like you. Do you tell him that?
Yes.
Okay, so
When he says,
most likely, FYI, most likely, I don't know them, so I'm just assuming here. Most likely when we hear you are just like me, you are just like me, you are just like me, what do you think that child is going to do? Honor their bad bucket of the parent or the good bucket?
The bad bucket.
The bad bucket. Are they gonna be more pleasure is pain or more pain is pleasure?
Pain is.
well, like
Pleasure is
yesterday,
pain.
Oh, pleasures.
Because the bad bucket is linked with pleasure.
Yeah.
well, it's like his little,
So be careful what we say to our kids, because we are also conditioning them
Yes,
to
exactly.
believe certain things. But it'll be very interesting to see this dynamic if you guys do indeed move in together, if she is able to say the same thing. Martha has now become Nicole, but no different situation.
Right.
It's not an accident. Every single person placed in your situation is her mother or her father. So here you've got your mom.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be able to say the same thing and be like, see you later, I'm cleaning on Tuesday?
Yeah,
I wouldn't care.
I talked to
because I have
Nicole.
3, I feel responsibility to have to clean up a little more since she has 1 and I have 3. And
It doesn't. It's not even about that. It's just.
only because
I-
mine make a big mess. Or like Day Day will make a mess enough for 3 kids herself with kinetic sand that's not supposed to make a mess.
Kinetic sand.
Like, well, Eli vacuums.
That's a mess.
Every day he
I think
vacuums.
it
I
works
tell him
for
every
me.
day your job is to
That's like
vacuum.
clay.
Giles is to clean the litter box. Day Day's is to keep her room clean.
Perfect, so now they have chores, which is very
Yeah.
And it's
good.
helped me, and I told them, if you want more time with me, you need to help me, so that way I can sit and relax with you instead of having to clean up after you, just coming home from work or my only days off.
Okay, yes and no. That's great that you're giving them chores, but listen to what you said.
If you want to spend
If
time.
you want to spend time with me, that's fine. Instead of me cleaning, what are you saying to them without wanting to?
I'm tired of cleaning up after you.
No, what you're telling them is cleaning is more of a priority than them. That's what they're complaining about.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the same thing or the opposite with their children. So they can become your mother or they can become you. Because what you're saying without wanting to say it accidentally is, if you want to spend more time with me and me not come home and clean and sit down with you and relax, basically the cleaning is the priority.
And you guys are, yeah.
You're second. And that's not what you want to tell them.
No.
I know that's not what, that's why I asked you, what's the job? The job is motherhood. And last time I checked, in no motherhood book does it say you need to clean. That's a womanhood book, A, and that's the bullshit. That's the Hispanic bullshit, especially.
Yes.
Especially the Hispanic bullshit. When I was married the first time, oh my God. You gotta cook, you gotta clean, that makes you a good wife, that makes you a good, homemaker. That's a crock of fucking shit.
What I started doing now, like getting up with them yesterday, like being my day off, for example, I didn't get up right away to cook and clean. They had already ate breakfast. They said, Mommy, we made ourselves waffles. I'm like, awesome. I can sit down and have a cup of coffee. And every inch of me wanted to get up and start sweeping the
I was just
floor.
gonna say, you wanted to clean up after their breakfast mess.
And, oh no, they cleaned up
Oh,
after
okay.
the mess. I taught them how to wipe everything
Perfect.
down. I said, if you guys do this, we have more time to do this.
And imagine if they clean up and you actually don't clean up after them, what you're telling them.
That's
Yeah,
you
that's
did it well.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I
Because
told
if you
how
clean
to-
up after them, you're saying you don't know how to do it.
Mhm. No, I had them go in their rooms a couple days before that, and I looked in their rooms. I said, tell me what's wrong. And they go, no, it's clean. I said, all right. So I lifted up the blankets, there's socks, there's everything everywhere I go.
Ah, that shit.
I said, now let's look in your drawers. And they're like, Mommy, can you give us like 15 minutes and we'll have the room clean? And they did it. And Eli, the one who normally doesn't, actually has been keeping up with his shit. And I said, good. Now let's sit down and watch this movie or whatever else. Let's not worry about the cleaning. So yesterday they said, what are we going to do? I said, I'll tell you what, you guys each pick an activity. I'll do it with you before I clean.
Perfect.
That
See?
hurt me so bad to do
But
because I'm
look
like,
what you
I
said
have
to
to
them.
clean.
You said you're the priority.
Yeah.
So we did everything yesterday, and then I cleaned up. No, I didn't mop. I was going to mop. And then I said, you know what? Nah, since I'm working tomorrow, and Sean has to be the one in the kitchen, why don't I just leave it a mess? A mess for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and let him take care of it. And since I've been doing that, he's been taking care of that part of the cleaning. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of get used to this. Now the next trick is the bathroom.
So the cleaning is what? Pain or pleasure for her?
It's
Yeah.
her paint.
The-
It's her paint.
the
That's it.
cleaning is
Yeah,
pain.
it's her paint.
You have like a
Yeah.
square cardboard. with
Her
it.
pleasure
have
is
both.
the fact
And
of
so
getting
don't
it
know.
done,
Or can you not
right?
notice?
Well, no, it's pain as pleasure.
Oh, okay.
So cleaning is pain.
Right.
And where does it come from? Where does Nicole's cleaning obsession, where does her pain come from?
For a child.
From her
Her
childhood.
childhood,
From her-
because her mother had her live in a pigsty. Or, and in addition to that, she was the one responsible for cleaning.
Oh, it wasn't just a pigsty. I mean, yes, I have 4 cats, and during the summertime they get a little bit of case of fleas or whatever, and I have to wash them. The normal animal thing. But living with her, they always had fleas. So me and my brother were always bit. Like he would walk around in a diaper and have red bumps all over him, and I same thing. And then she would get the stuffed animals from Goodwill and never dust them. So you have all these, she had like 6 cats, all these stuffed animals with dust on them, everything everywhere.
But the trauma, listen to the
Yeah.
trauma. Now,
I hated it, like,
Now.
I never wanted to be home.
what is the psychological orgasm? That's the pleasure.
Seeing it clean.
It being.
Right, exactly.
Seeing my
So
end
now-
result.
That, why? What is she reliving every single time? Whose love is she trying to get
Her mom.
every time the house is clean?
Her mom.
Her mother's. She has no consideration for her husband or her kids in that story. That has nothing to do with your kids and your husband. That has to do with mom.
And it's the guilt.
Mom, look at me, how I clean this for you. Don't beat me, Mom. I did it. Love me, Mommy. Love me, love me, love me.
And I noticed the more, because before I would say I don't care about her, blah, blah, blah. I notice now when I truly don't care, I can actually leave stuff on the kitchen counter now and walk away. And I'll just sit in the living room and enjoy time with them. and then I'll
That
get
is
to it.
true change.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. So here we have judgments. All judgments have values attached to them. These values are judgments. If I clean, I'm good. If I'm clean, I will be loved. Were given to you at conception, so we get that from the moment of conception, and they cause dissonance when you are not in alignment with them. Not necessarily because you believe them. You don't necessarily believe that having a clean house makes you a good mother. That isn't the job. But because you don't want to go against your family club membership, your Costco card. And so you have to check in. We all have a Costco card. I always say, turn in that Costco card and get a Nordstrom or whatever your favorite store is. Go shopping at a good store. Forget Costco, although now I'm in love with Costco, so I might have to change my story there.
You know you can buy a wheel of cheese there?
No, I
A
don't know.
wheel of cheese.
I love
you
A
say?
whole wheel
You
of
could
cheese.
buy a
I'm not so
coffin.
taller about my shit. Fuck that.
You can buy a coffee.
I
Well, we
someone
all
told
need to
me
go to
that.
Costco and buy a
Someone
coffee
told me
and
that.
shove it with our judgments and values that are outdated.
You can buy a coffin at
I'm
Walmart
gonna,
too.
I'm gonna
Oh
shove
my God.
myself in the
What?
coffin.
Yeah, online.
You said
Ah,
Those are all my judgments.
All my
and my
All the
shit.
judgments and values,
It's
absolutely.
not.
Anybody can post whatever they want to sell on Walmart.
Really?
Yeah, if you read it, some of them say come from China, from this guy with a Chinese name.
Well, that's Amazon too. If you don't read,
Yeah.
it's like,
eBay.
it's gonna take you 3 weeks to get
But
something
Walmart
because
is
it's from
exactly like
China.
Amazon. Sometimes it takes you like 2 months to get something if you
Yeah.
order it and you don't pay attention.
But that's the hardest thing that I'm trying to break, because I feel like if I break that, I can get to myself.
Okay, so yes, your authentic self right here. These are values. We're going to talk about values in a second. These are given to you at conception. Okay, so our judgments are based on the values. However, you may not be in alignment with those values. So you self-betray. So every time you choose cleaning over your kids, you're actually self-betraying. You honor your family's values instead of honoring your own. You're honoring your mom saying, I'm going to beat you or doing it if you don't clean. This causes the false or inauthentic self to develop. In order for the true self, which is what you just said, or authentic self to flourish, you have to be willing to question the values given to you. Decide what your true values are, even if they go against your family. So, it's very hard, but the reality is that cleaning obsessively is not your value system. It really isn't. It's a means to an end to somewhere in the cosmos, wherever you bullshit this, because we all do, this person, this mother, is going to now love us unconditionally. And what did I teach you about unconditional love?
It's bullshit.
It doesn't exist. The only person that can give you unconditional love? Yourself.
Yeah, that's me and Sean's big argument right now.
Yeah, well, he's wrong.
Yeah, that's why marriages don't work nowadays,
Always
because
wrong.
there's no, it's supposed to be unconditional love and
No.
blah, 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 and it's like, no, there's
No.
no such thing as
And you
unconditional.
can take a picture of the I, and the we.
I'm not gonna lie, to be honest with you. I gotta take a picture of all your little things.
You have to what?
I said I want to take a picture of all of them.
Sure, of course. Here is the I, and the we. The partner with their life. The partner with their life. So that's you going to Miami with your friends, with your job, with your kids, all your life. This is Sean with his stuff. And then the relationship is a whole new identity, a whole new individual. I don't necessarily care for Mitt Romney, but when he says corporations are people too, marriages are people too. It's an entity that has its own rules, that has its own container. That's only when each person is full. So no, you have to love yourself, he has to love himself, then you come together, but you don't lose yourself in the process.
And that's where I know it's 0 to 100 to say to go, but I already know him, how stubborn.
And like I said, I support whatever,
Like
and
right
you know.
now, it could be okay, I say I can put this right here, it'll be okay, but say next month, like staying over Henry's. I was already told no. Hell no, you ain't staying anywhere. You ain't doing this. I said, but if it's late, where am I gonna go? Well, you're gonna have to Uber yourself home. So you want me to take an Uber at 4 in the morning? God knows what Uber driver this is. Could Uber me to fucking fuck Egypt, and you'll never see me again, or I could just stay somewhere safe and be home. No, that's not right. That's not what you're
But
doing.
his issue, and we've talked about this before, you not coming home equals him being abandoned by his mom, even if it's just one night. The subconscious is erroneous. The subconscious makes no sense.
And that's where.
Stop trying with yourself or with people in your life to have them make sense
Oh, yeah,
when their
okay.
subconscious is ruling the show.
Well, that's why now I'm just like, okay. What'd I say? I'll deal with it when it comes.
Yeah.
Because I could have this argument all the way up until I find
Very
people out.
smart.
Or-
That's growth.
Or I could just wait and go, okay. I said, so fine, you're gonna pay for my Uber to come home, which could be $30 or so. Yes, I go, all right. That's you paying for it.
Pembroke Pines to Coral Springs, that ain't gonna be no
That's
damn
not
$30.
cheap.
I ain't
No,
close
that's
to
gonna be a
Brook
lot of
Pond to
money. You
Cold
can
Spring.
map
Yeah.
that beforehand. But that's smart.
Yeah,
Why are you gonna fight now
right.
for something that's not happening until future?
Yeah.
And it's being dictated by a subconscious process that is erroneous. My mother abandoned me. That is all he is hearing. So you're gonna try to fight and fix and get someone to think logically.
And
When they're back at 2 years old, their mother abandoned them.
Yeah.
That's illogical for you.
That's
So then
what-
you get on the same child
Right now,
platform as him.
you sounded like my mom, because that's what she says. She says, you create all these drama issues
We
that
all create
happened
our own
a
dramas.
year or two ago, and you're bringing it back into, I'm like,
Well, and that's your subconscious, and we all do that, and
I'm
she
like,
does that too.
okay.
Every one of us does that.
Like,
And that's why I just
Because
let
if
it
we're
go.
bringing stuff up from our childhood, from hell, when we were in the womb, of course we're bringing things up from a year or two ago. Growth occurs when we can stop and say, wait a minute, this isn't going to get me anywhere. This is stupid. That's logic, that's smart, that's using your brain.
That's why I
That's
say
putting theory into practice.
yeah.
That's why I say I know you guys have changed.
if there's a discussion or a problem, I'm just like, okay. I walk away. Instead of arguing it, before I used to like be like, no, don't leave me outside here. Let's finish having this conversation. Now I'm just like, can you bring me another cigarette real quick? He'll go inside and he'll bring it out. I'm like, oh yeah, bring me the bowl too. And I'll just sit out there and I'm like, okay. Well, you don't want to talk anymore? No. Because we're just going to keep going. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to go play with the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's it. You're not, or the kids asked one day, you're going to come sit out here with me. And I said like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Because I just sat down on his couch and that's my automatic. I'm in the kitchen, I clean up and I just sit down right there and think about my next move. I got up, oh, you're not going to sit with me? And then he told the kids, oh no, she was going to sit with me. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go sit out there. There's a living room with recliners we're still paying on. We can, go enjoy those recliners out in the living room. And I made him come out to the living room. I said, not everyone's going to come to you. You got one couch and we're 5 people. 2 sets of recliners out in the living room. Why the hell did I set up the living room for if we're going to sit out here in this fucking game room? And he didn't get what he wanted. And he was a little mad about it, but I was like,
That was a logical thing.
That's what I'm trying
So-
to think now, have you ever heard of, if it doesn't matter, if it's not gonna matter in 5 years, don't waste 5 minutes on it?
I haven't heard that, but I have a similar mentality, like when couples argue, if this isn't gonna be the thing that like breaks you up, then why keep and keep and keep? Granted, fights come up because there's unresolved processes from childhood, but most couples don't do that deeper work. So when you're in a couple session, you can discuss things like that. But I like that saying.
And that's what I think of, it's not gonna matter in 5 years, and then I'll remind myself in 5 years, the kids could say, well, you spent all this time with me, you were a great mom, and that's why I keep pushing to clean less and play more.
And that's why I asked you what was the job. If you don't know what the job is, then how do you know that you're getting ready for it? Because if you didn't know you had a job at Office Depot and you went to Home Depot, they would look at you like, who the hell are you?
I thought about that, what if I did that one day, with the Office Depot tag, and show up
Yeah,
at
what
Home
if you
Depot?
show up at Home Depot? They'll be like, you don't work here. It's the same thing. When you clean your kitchen, you're going to the wrong job. So you need to know what job you're working on. And 99.9% of people do not know.
And I think it's the pain as pleasure, it's so
Of course.
easy to fall into that, like, okay, I cleaned something, I achieved something, this is great.
Right, but
But
you
then
didn't
what-
achieve what you wanted.
But what did I achieve?
You didn't
Children are
achieve what you
electronics all day,
wanted.
spent no time with them, like.
That's like if I go to my desk now and I